Hello and welcome. It's me, Sunchoke McGarry, great-granddaughter of Scoot McGarry, great-granddaughter of Scout McGarry.
She's farther away from Scout McGarry.
I might have mixed those up. I'm here on my live video YouTube short show, which I am calling a podcast, which is called Dumb Hoes Getting Snowed, where we do cocaine and also talk about murders, and we're all dumb hoes. Welcome.
Sunchoke McGarry, I have a quick question.
Oh, I have a comment in the live, yeah?
What year were you born in?
I was born in 2005.
Fuck.
I thought you were going to say, like, I was born in 2019.
35.
I can't legally drink, but I can definitely illegally buy cocaine.
Fair.
We can all do that.
Age limit on that.
That's true. That's fair. That's our right as Americans.
Amanda, I'm upset that you've never used this voice in a single character.
This is a great voice.
This is a great voice.
Love this.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Welcome back to the One Shot Derby, where we have a special surprise late entrant rounding the corner, following up the back of the pack.
What?
Eric, what have you prepared for us today?
Oh, I wrote another tabletop RPG.
Yay!
Oops.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
Whoops. Oops. Uh-oh.
I love the idea that you're Captain Crunch in the berry factory, but it's oops all TTRPGs.
Oops all new tabletop RPGs. Yeah.
Guys, listening out there, please let me know. Please tweet to @EL_Silvero on all the old platforms and Eric Silver on the new ones. If you would buy a box set of Eric's TTRPGs printed out and bound in like sweet little pocket-sized formats.
Ooh.
Like, you know, have had a box set of like Tolkien or C.S. Lewis or somebody like that, or like the Everyman Penguin editions. It just struck me this morning how fun it would be to have like a rainbow little box set of his games. And if you would buy that, tell me, because we only need like probably 50 to do it.
I love that. Yeah, it's a great idea.
I want that. That sounds great. I'm one. Does that count as me?
I'm like probably 2, 3, and 4
Yes.
because I would send it to like the first few people I met on the street.
Guys, you don't have to buy it. You can just have it. You're already buying
Well, I don't
it.
know if I count.
You don't.
for the 50 people that Amanda's looking
Well, for production costs, sure.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I wrote a new game. The Patreon already knows about it. It's called True Crime Podcast Game. It's a game where we all play people who make a true crime podcast and we all die. Sound fun?
Yeah.
I am so excited.
People on the Patreon already know. If you're not on the Patreon, you should join it because sometimes I do stuff like this where I've been kicking around this idea for a few months now. And I showed the first sketches of it to Amanda, Brandon, and Julia on one of the party plannings. And I've been working on it a lot since then. I've play tested it with Misha, who's editing this podcast.
Hi, Misha.
Misha put that sound effect in that shows that you're here. And Rue, Multitude's old community manager, and Bren and their friends, who does the clips for Join the Party and also did the layout for Model Our Nations, play tested it with their friends. So this is like, I'm getting very close to this being finished. It will be finished, at least the game, when this episode comes out, and I think I can like link the text to people in Patreon so you can see everything that we're doing here. But since it's in the One Shot Derby, we're just going to play out the character creation portion. And if you want to see the rest of it, you gotta vote.
You gotta vote.
Sorry, old women, murderists, and Christians.
And in order to vote, make sure you go to jointhepartypod.com/live and buy a ticket.
Now, Brandon,
Wait,
I know a
wait a
lot of
second.
things.
Wait,
Hold on, we're mixing up our calls to
I know a
actions
lot
here.
of things in 2025 are regressing to the mean of the 1700s in the U.S., but you don't actually have to spend money to vote in this election. At
Show
least.
us you have land, and then you can vote.
You don't have to go to the Portland Live Show in order to vote.
I mean, that would just be a bonus.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
you
so
can,
it's two
you can
separate
come there and
things.
ask me to do an impression of your choosing. I'll just do it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a link in this episode where this is the fourth of all of the one-shot derbies, so we are opening the voting. The voting is in the episode description. It will go through at least the after party that's going to be next week for everyone to vote.
And if you are really horny for URL redirects, it's jointhepartypod.com/vote.
Hell yeah.
Vote.
Wow.
Misha, don't cut any of that. That was what was called organic product placement.
Eric, I do just want to draw attention to and just hold space for maybe the fact that your playtest audience is exclusively non-binary creative professionals. And
I was going to point that out
if
too.
you're not playtesting your TTRPG with non-binary creative professionals, I frankly don't know what you think you're doing calling yourself a game designer.
What are we doing here?
I'm holding space for that.
Eric didn't say it, I said it.
I
so.
didn't even put that together. I thought that was funny. So, folks, you want to play?
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Here's the intro of True Crime Podcast Game. You're on a true crime podcast. You're going to die unless you do something about it.
Ah!
Wow.
Now, Eric, did you choose to dress like a true crime podcaster today, or was that just the outfit that you went with?
I don't think that I dress like a mom looking for fulfillment after her kids are out of the nest.
Empty
so I'm not
nester,
really
yeah.
sure.
You are in like a sundress and like really I don't know what women wear. I don't know.
I was just going to say, I like the hat. You usually don't wear a hat at recordings.
You're
Anyway.
like the P&W type true crime.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Where it's like ethical.
Well, it's not
Where
ethical.
I point out, Brandon, I point out that most of the victims are people of color and I don't do anything
And then you
about
also
it.
talk about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigfoot actually does the majority of the crimes.
Whoa.
Here's the fun fact that you guys may not know is Bigfoot has done murders just indirectly because people go looking for him and they die because
Yeah.
they can't survive. And so that's,
Because they were killed by Bigfoot.
well, we don't know that, but we don't not know that.
Exactly.
So I attribute
We
it
have
to
to
Bigfoot.
assume.
Yeah.
Big manslaughter is backing Bigfoot.
Brendan, did we talk about this recently? I'm having such flashbacks.
We might have. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so there are 4 elements to character creation. We are going to kind of do the basics for each of our characters. We're going to figure out the death that is haunting all of us. How are we going to die? What is our show about? And then we're going to complicate it with something on the fame table.
Hell yes.
So let's get started. All of us, let's look over this section. We're going to name ourselves, and then we're going to have a draft of each of our characters' job on the podcast. So first thing, you have to name yourself.
Dude, these names are so good. I
Do
know.
you want a full name or do you just want a first name?
The example names that I have here are all first names or nicknames. So you could be Sam, Frankie, Morgan, Rory, or we got Double J, we got Big Cat, we got Jabrowski, we got The Sludge, we got Brick. So mononyms mostly.
Can I go first and call Big Cat the Sludge, Frankie?
No, Brandon, you can only fix one. You
Fuck.
cannot pick off them.
However, putting them all together is pretty good. Like Morgan Rory Brick is definitely a lesbian I went to high school with.
I was going to combine Big Rex into just Bex.
You could be Bex.
I like
Bex is
Bex.
fine.
So, Eric, it sounds like combining is the way to go. So can I have
No. I don't know why I have this list of names, and all 3 of are you of like, what if we fuck it up?
Because they're all good names. We want them all.
Yeah, I can't have just one.
I'm going Bex Beckett. That's a cool name.
Ooh, that's good.
Good. I like it.
I'm really drawn to Double J. So I'm going to be like Double J. What's a good last name for that, Julia?
Jenkins.
Well, I can't combine. I'm sorry.
You could be Hawkins, Double J Hawkins.
Double J
That's good.
Knockins. Double J Talkins. Double J Talkins.
Double J Hawkins. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with Big Cat.
Cool.
Love it.
I gotta be the Big Cat.
So that's why you didn't want me to combine because you wanted Big Cat.
No, I just wanted you not to combine. Again, I said you only need first names or a nickname, and Brandon's like, what if I Frankenstein these together? It's alive, but it has 6 eyes and no mouth.
Yeah, that's called Yes Banana.
I am really drawn to Charlie. I always wanted to be named a women's name that could be shortened to a typically masculine nickname. So
Same girl.
Frankie or Charlie were my things. Let's go Charlie for this one.
Would you want to be named Charles so you could be nicknamed Charlie or just be the nickname?
Well, as a woman, I'd be like, I could be Charlotte named Charlie.
Charlotte,
You know, or like
gotcha.
Francesca named Frankie.
Love
type of
it, love it,
situation.
love it.
Julia, you and I could only be better as a duo if our names were Charlie and Frankie. That'd
That's
be incredible.
true.
Yeah,
We would have a Netflix series if our
We
names were
would.
Charlie and Frankie.
we would.
Okay, so now we're going to draft each character's job on the podcast. First things first, who's consumed a grisly piece of content the most recently?
I started reading a book last night that is called Someone You Can Build a Nest In. And it's described
good title.
as sweetly furious, darkly funny, and gruesomely wholesome. It's a love story for the unloved, a happily ever after with a higher than average body count.
Yep.
Now,
do it.
Eric,
That'll do it.
I've also started watching the OJ doc on Netflix not but 2 days ago. Which
That's
one's
true, and
grislier?
Brandon is farther in the future than we are.
That's true by 4 days.
Brandon lives 4 days in the future. It's really confusing for passing edits along. I've been watching a lot of Banshee lately, which was an original series on Cinemax, which now is on HBO. So there's a lot of violence and sex on it. But I think, I feel like Julia read this book the latest at night. Even
it was
according
3 in the morning.
Yeah, even according to Brandon's time change. Okay, so Julia, you're going to go first. Julia, please pick the order that we're going to draft.
Great. I'm going to do it in the order that people responded then. So me, Brandon, Eric, Amanda.
A classic JBEA.
JBEA.
A real classic JBA situation.
Beej? Is that something that we could do?
No, that's something else.
Beej?
Beej is what my mom calls me, so let's not do that. And
Okay.
She does? That's really funny.
yeah, my nicknames include BJ and Beej.
I love your clown mom.
All right, now we're going to draft the jobs on the podcast. I have some suggestions of jobs we can do. There's host, co-host, producer, audio guy, researcher, social media, scumbag friend, not on the mic, but in the room, rep from the network, or you can add your own. I have recommendations here. There must be one, but only one host. There is no ideal lineup of jobs, but I have a suggested starter pack for 4 players if you want a host, co-host, producer, or audio guy, and then some other wild card. It's not important. I encourage people not only for this to be like a 4-person podcast. It's always interesting when someone is not on the microphone and has other motivations here.
In terms of that, I was thinking that Bex Beckett would make a excellent researcher.
Ooh, I like that.
Kind of a often dismissed, but a person's like contribution is not recognized often on the podcast. And I wanted that to kind of be Bex's whole vibe of like, I am very qualified, I am very informed, but no one is fucking listening to me.
True.
The person trying to kill you is AI.
Yeah.
True.
All right,
Brampton,
cool.
it's your turn.
Well, I have 2 reasons for doing this. One, I think it'd be fun to force you two to be the host and co-host. But I also think that a guy named Double J Talkins is definitely a producer, right?
Yeah. He's an often on mic producer too.
Oh,
which
that's
is
what I
even
meant.
worse.
He
Yeah.
pushes his way onto the microphone to say things.
And any other person would edit him out, but because he's the editor as well as the producer.
Yep.
100%.
Red for filth.
You know, remember, it does not have to be a co-host. It could just be a host.
True.
If it helps, I was leaning toward an off mic role. So if you want to be the primary host, you should.
It's so funny that the 2 Brandos and the Julia were like, I don't want to be on microphones.
Hell no.
Sure, I'll be the host. I'll be nice.
Yay.
Right, you're right. I'm Big Cat.
Yeah.
I picture the art has like puma claw slashes or something like
Ooh,
that.
yeah.
Because of Big Cat.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You're like, why?
And then Amanda.
I've decided that my last name is Crockins. So my name's Charlie Crockins.
Love it.
I think I'm a dude here. And I would really like to be scumbag friend, not on mic, but in the room, where
Yes, let's
my
go.
contributions are consistently referenced. And like true heads, there's lore that's built up about like, oh, it's a Celtics game day. Charlie Crockins is going to be like rowdy on his phone or like eating pretzels or something. And that'll be me.
And you know that Double J is pissed that Charlie's in the room because not only is he taking his airspace, but his last name sounds too similar to his last name.
I was going to ask, are they cousins?
I bet they're cousins. I bet Big Cat and Charlie should be cousins.
I think Charlie calls him cousins in like the Chicago sense.
Oh. Like they say on the bear.
The bear.
But Double J is like, we're not fucking cousins.
There's a lot of Big Cat stopping their monologue and saying, "What was that, Charlie?" Oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
oh, this is wonderful. Okay.
And Double J is like, there's no microphone. And then he's like, let me put in a microphone. And Charlie's like, nah, man. I'm not on the show, man. Nah.
All right. Well, then each player must answer the following prompts about their character in reverse order of the jobs draft. Everyone at the table can contribute ideas, but the person whose character it is gets final say. So we're going to start with Amanda here. The 3 prompts are, I am known on the pod as the blank one by the audience. I got some suggestions here. Funny, smart, famous, scary, ignorant, spacey, raunchy, horny, those are different, annoying, chaotic, and insert your own adjective. Then you're going to give an example of something that was on the microphone that why everyone knows you of this. And then the third prompt is valid criticism on Reddit about me.
Incredible.
So, Amanda, you're going to start for Charlie.
So I'm typically not the player that chooses the adjective chaotic, but I do think it really suits the role of the off-mic, in-room guy. And I would like to posit that, like, at some point, someone turned to Charlie and is like, wait, Charlie, what's that? And Charlie's like, I just bought a boat. And you don't know what happened, but Charlie's just like on his phone on the couch in the back of the room, and like he could have done fucking whatever, and he's like, yeah, I just bought a boat. And he's like, oh my God.
I would love to. That's incredible. I would like there to be a supercut out there of cutting together everything that happened with Charlie.
Yes,
because Charlie bought the boat from a police auction.
Yes.
And then Charlie had to go to the police auction to pick it up, and
Rent
that's where
trailer.
he realized it was from the police auction. He just thought he saw a boat for a very good deal. And then the boat was involved with some sort of crime. I'm going to leave that up to Amanda. So there's I think that if
it was a mafia boat dumped a body offshore, international waters.
So envision the 10 episode supercut of all Charlie's boat.
I fucking love that.
I would also like to imagine that there is a listener wiki. We have some fandom wikis of some of our shows. And I love the idea that there is a Charlie entry with data points about his life and lore from specific episodes, with timestamps and citations, and some of them contradictory. As he says, I have no kids. I have 6 kids. They're like, Charlie, what?
That reminds me of this guy who owns a bunch of wineries out here on Long Island, who famously in interviews has never confirmed how many kids he has, but according to the Wikipedia, it's he has at least 19 children. And I'm like, what do you mean at least 19?
Whoa!
What do you mean?
Well, he doesn't give birth to them, so he could possibly keep count too.
Yeah, it's wild. It's truly wild.
I think I know pretty obviously what the valid criticism on Reddit is for Charlie, but is there something different than just what your role belies?
I think valid criticism on Reddit about Charlie Crockins is that he is definitely underpaying his income tax because his he has an hourly job on the weekends working at an aquarium store, and he works 1 day a week there, mostly to pay for supplies because he loves his lizards. And then the rest of the time, he just makes a very small salary because it's his garage, I think, that they record in, which is why he's hanging out there.
Sure. Okay.
And so people know and have tallied up the fact that he goes to Six Flags, he goes to Great Wolf Lodge. The man loves a water park. He bought a boat. They live in a landlocked state. He doesn't live on the ocean. And they're like, how the fuck does Charlie have the money to do this?
Incredible. Can they call their audience members lizards? Because when they're in the garage, they're surrounded by lizards, so they feel like they're talking to lizards.
Oh, I love that.
Can I say that this is a standalone garage or a converted shed?
Yeah,
I think it's funnier that it's not
attached
connected
to a
house.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a very classic 1950s U.S. house with a detached garage down the end of a concrete driveway that's just 2 strips.
That's what I'm envisioning as well.
Otherwise known as my dream. I want that so I can make it into a studio.
Yeah, seriously.
Every once in a while, we watch Amanda just slowly have a Dr. Bertha Bones moment on this podcast.
I thought you were going to say an embolism.
Well, I think they're not unrelated.
Yeah, basically.
This is the earliest that I can say about one of my own games. This is a good game, folks.
Yay!
This is good.
Sick.
I recorded an episode of Model Our Nations on a different show with Why We Roll with our friends Chris and wife. And halfway through, we were playing different robots that were doing the Model Our Nations, and I was laughing because I was playing Madame Pac-Man.
Madame Pac-Man.
Because it was arcade machines that could project their characters out with the technology that happened. And I was laughing about it. I was like, this is a good game, folks. I know I'm on a guest podcast right now, but I'm saying it. Okay, great. I'm gonna go. Big Cat is known on the pod as.
Is it funny that the host is ignorant?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. None of these adjectives hit me for where we're at as single podcaster version of this true crime podcast. I think Sirius might be like it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't think that Bex did a good enough job doing research, I will read 3 more books and point it out on the microphone.
Wow.
Oh no.
A real Hobbesian.
Not even Michael Hobbs, because he does it out of his own volition. Because he's the only.
Yeah.
But like, you know, for some of those ones where even if there is a guest, it feels like one guy just lectures from their notes.
Yeah.
I feel like, I take it upon myself to, even though there is a researcher, I'm going to read 2 more books or 3 more books because I don't think there was enough.
I mean, imagine if on Spirits, Julia was like, this is what we know about Anubis, according to researcher Sally. I then did a minor in Egyptian studies so that I could better understand Anubis's real role in the cosmology.
Oh my God.
I audited a class from the community college to do this.
So do you want to say then studious? Do you want to say like the one with high standards, or do you think serious is the move?
High standards is good. I think high standards. I'm the high standards.
You're the
one.
exacting one?
Yeah.
Someone's got to be on this podcast. Otherwise, why is it known, you know?
Mm.
Then it's just 4 bananas touching.
What, Amanda?
No notes. No notes.
It's just 4 people saying yes, banana is what I meant to say.
Oh, okay. I thought you were giving me your search history.
Touche.
The valid criticism about me is that I think I'm the sole reason why the podcast is successful. Like, it's pretty obvious. Even if I don't say it, I feel like me delivering information, which is not the reason why the podcast is successful. Who knows? It's probably maybe because we got left at the top of the Spotify recommend charts for 3 months for true crime. Entirely possible. I don't think it has anything. It's just kind of the delivery system, but I seem to think that the amount of research I deliver is the most important part of the show.
Fair.
Cool.
Okay, that means it's good old Double J's turn. Is that my name? Yes.
I love that because it should just be JJ, but you're Double J.
Double J. Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out that how clever of a nickname
So
that is.
true.
Sometimes people call me Double JJ and I slap them.
It's 4 J's.
It's 4 J's, idiot. I think I'm known on the pod as the scary one because there can't be too many, like, you know, spacey, chaotic ones. So I hop on the mic unasked for because I'm correcting someone aggressively, or maybe like describing something in too like maybe you, Eric, start describing something and I'm like, oh, you forgot this super fucked up thing, and I'm like,
You always tell me earlier in the research to say the most fucked up thing about the case as soon as possible.
yeah. So it's not just that I'm scary, like as a personality, but it's like this man really, really loves describing the exact blade angle of this murder.
No. You didn't talk about the arterial spray. Good
Yes.
enough.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
Like, do you know how many liters of blood is in the human body? Like, that is so good.
I tested it. Period.
Uh-oh.
And, Brandon, give me some valid criticism on Reddit about Double J. I would like to suggest to you we codify something that we threw off, which is that Double J pretty obviously hates Charlie, and Charlie does not know.
Yes, I agree with that. I don't think that either one of them would describe it that way, but the people on Reddit are like, yeah, this is clearly what's happening, yo.
There definitely needs to be, like, Big Cat has asked for Charlie to have a microphone, and Double J blocks it often.
Yep.
And Charlie thinks it's because he's humble.
So I've been trying to think of a good adjective, and like my instinct is to go like, I'm known on the pod as like the woman #misogyny.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And I don't know what that would be as an adjective.
You're the female one.
You're the woman one. Yeah. I might
yeah.
just need to add that to the list, honestly.
Yeah. Well, originally I didn't think that was going to be a problem because Amanda was like, oh, I want to be like a female Charlie. And then Amanda's like, no, I'm a man. I'm like, oh, no, you're all men.
Julie, I think specifically you should be the female one in the way that like some toxic masculine people use the word female.
Say female, yeah.
Instead of woman.
Amanda, can you join me over here for a second?
What's up?
Everyone else just don't talk. Does that mean that it's 3 bananas and like a papaya touching?
Well,
or...
Brandon, I think that it's never occurred to some of the people who use the word female like that your gender identity and your genitalia could be different. And
Julia,
so
what does wholesome murder mean?
Wholesome murder. So yes, I think I am the female one.
Yay!
Very funny. Very funny. And I don't know if like there's a good example. I'm trying to think of what a good example of that being captured on microphone is.
Amanda raised her hand.
Go ahead.
Julia, may I suggest that one time Big Cat, Double J, and Charlie got into like a 35-minute extended, heated, this is like real feelings are involved debate
This is what I was going to suggest. Yeah.
about the hotness of a given serial killer. And then at some point, 35, 40 minutes in, they're like, wait, Bex, what do you think? And then you go, yeah, he's hot. And they're like, shit!
That's extremely funny. I think it's, yeah, he's hot, and then a bunch of men disagreeing with her.
It needs to be something so basic. I mean, like Ted Bundy, right?
Right.
Like one where Netflix has already codified that that's true by making Zac Efron play him, but yet we're still having this stupid conversation about it.
Yeah.
How many times do you think the host said no homo while they were talking about how hot Ted Bundy was?
They said pause so many times, Brandon.
All right, and then valid criticism on Reddit about me. Is a valid criticism like I'm going too hard on a woke angle?
I mean, if you want to.
That's something. I would also offer, Julia, like Bex should be on microphone. Like valid criticism is, why isn't Bex the co-host?
That's good,
I don't hate that.
Eric, is that in the spirit of the game?
I'm dead.
Oh, that's right.
The author's
I'm the
dead.
author. I'm
Shit.
dead.
Oh, great. So can we go back to the name so I can
Shut
combine
up,
them?
Brandon.
Can I, end that and say there is a bitter divide amongst the fandom of people who are like, yes, have Bex on the microphone, and another half who are like, not so subtly being like, we don't need a woman on the mic.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or get your opinions out of the
I
research.
was going to suggest the valid criticism was, why is this person on this podcast with these assholes?
Yes. We want better for her. Why doesn't Bex have her own show?
I love it. All right, let's figure out how we're going to die, folks.
Whee! Heart problems.
Double J has never eaten a fruit. Never. How are you going to die? Let's figure out what death is hunting all of you down. Together, pick which death is pursuing all of you and answer the prompting questions together. There are 3 questions. The third one is going to be an NPC creation situation. We're gonna create the number of NPCs equal to the number of players at the table. So there's 4 of us. We're gonna create 4 NPCs. There are some prompts we can use or use our own ideas as long as the NPC fits into the archetype of the story that we're telling with this death. There's some suggestions on how to create fun NPCs. And then each of us needs to claim an NPC that we're responsible for their actions, motivations, and their voices if
that's
necessary.
Fun. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Eric, much like mustard is constantly on the beat for Kendrick Lamar, your sauce on it, your relish, your sidecar pickle is consistently having players be able to get in on other players' scenes in a structured way that adds to the drama. Like the fact that I am so invested not just in what the 4 of us are making together, but also voicing an NPC in someone else's character's world is like, mwah, I love it so much.
I love the idea that someone out there who's like a producer who looks up to mustard is named Relish.
Yep. They're like, ketchup? We don't talk about ketchup. He's dead.
I don't know that bitch.
You know some of these from when I introduced them during like the playtesting phase on the Patreon, but I have updated quite a number of these.
Ooh.
Especially because we're all doing the murder together. This death is hunting all of us. So there's the curse, there's the serial killer, there's the cult, there's the rival, the government, the accident, the blank from hell, a very kind of Dr. Death situation, but we can make whatever occupation that is. The cryptid for all the Julias out there, the lie, and the scam for all the Amandas out there.
Yay.
Which one's for the Brandons out there, Eric?
Most of these, honestly. The accident where Brandon falls down his own stairs. So are any of these jumping out at you?
I'm into the cult personally, and whether that is like a real live cult or like we're gonna summon a demon cult. I think either of those is very fun.
I really love the cult as well. I think on my own, I might pick the lie because we have watched many documentaries centering around profligate liars, Eric, but the cult feels the most exciting for right now.
I like the lie as well. It was inspired by a writer on Grey's Anatomy who lied about having a terminal disease and then became a writer on Grey's Anatomy. And I watched the documentary and it was wild. So I really like that one.
I like them all personally. The lie was definitely interesting. That's the one that stuck out to me the most because it's the most different. But I'm also into the blank from hell. That could be very fun.
Should we roll on a D10?
Yeah, we can either choose or we can roll whatever you want.
Let's roll and see what happens.
Roll.
Yeah.
We can also roll a pick like out of the 3 or 4 we want.
No, do a
Let's do
D10.
All right.
Make it spicy.
If you roll 0, you die.
That's an 8, which is the cryptid.
Oh.
Now, this is the thing that you always do when you roll dice. Do you want to do this? It's pretty close to the lie.
Every time that my partner and I, Lauren, are trying to decide on what to eat for dinner, one of us says, like, we're going to do pizza. How did you feel about that when I said that? Did that make you feel good, bad? So the question is, like, when you heard the cryptid, was it like a disappointment? What was your immediate reaction, you know?
I was a little disappointed. I think we should do the lie.
I think we should
Yeah.
do the lie.
Okay, great.
It's the closest. Okay.
Thanks, Brandon.
I'm really happy with this. Someone working on the podcast is lying so they can have the life they always wanted. They'll even kill to hold on to it. Create an NPC with a job at the show. What are they lying about? So for this one specifically, we're going to create an NPC in question 1. We have to create a new character who works at the podcast who's not the 4 of us and does a different job.
Gotcha.
Is it like, I'm going to throw some out there, like ex-investigator / cop? Is it like a survivor of someone famous, like some, like, you know, a Ted Bundy survivor or something?
Brandon, they would never employ an actual survivor.
I have some suggestions here. There's a rare disease or injury, a thrilling tragedy, or a royal or famous bloodline.
The famous bloodline is also interesting to me, but I don't know what it would be.
I really like the idea that this person is the social media manager, regardless of what they're lying about.
What if they say they're a Romanoff?
I love that. What if they're the like grand person of a serial killer though, or like a killer, a famous killer?
Like they claim to be the like illegitimate child, quote unquote,
Yeah.
of like a serial killer. I really
Yeah.
like that.
Classic Scream twist.
Mm-hmm. I know I said it jokingly, Brandon, but it could also make sense that they claim they're a survivor or an intended victim or like close to would-be victim of one of the serial killers we covered on the show.
Or like my mom was a survivor of insert serial killer.
Oh, that's
here.
fun too.
Illegitimate child, but like illegitimate child of serial killer with the thing Julia just
Right.
said, like that's it. I think that's it.
The fucked up
Yeah.
lie, right, is that they're the child of this and, the mom was an intended victim but wasn't.
I love that.
You want to put a name? I'm going to go with Birdie.
Like bird with a D or a T?
Or Bertie. Yeah, Bertie could be good.
Bertie, I think, is kind of fun.
It's like, this is Birdie. Nothing is scarier than someone with a Zoe Deschanel ass name who is going to kill you.
Is it just Zoe, though?
It might be, no, it's Zooey, Julia.
Zooey, of course.
It's Zooey. Like Franny and Zooey.
Yes.
That's good shit. What aggressive or radical steps has Zooey taken to maintain this lie?
Forged letters from, like, this serial killer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if the serial killer is, like, someone who is, like, in prison, possibly on death row, or if they are still at large.
Or dead.
Or dead.
Julia, my first thought, and I don't know why this is it, is that Zooey has like volunteered at a prison or done like an incarcerated letter writing program in order to lie, and like has formed a relationship with some poor man who's been incarcerated and like claims that those are letters from, the serial killer.
That's great.
Or like use the stationery or like reuse that paper, like in some way has like is using a real person who's really incarcerated.
I love
it's super
that.
fucked up.
For this one, you can have as many steps as you want. I kind of hoped that everyone would throw one thing in here. So like I'm including all of this. I think this all works.
Okay, then I'm going to add another step. I
Please.
love all of this. I think that's great. I think also she probably paid this person in the jail to forge the letters. I think then that Zooey took these letters to like some sort of quote unquote grader, like like they do for like trading cards, but like
Yes.
authenticity experts / graders. But in the same way that a lot of the ways that people fake the grades on trading cards, this is just someone.
Brandon,
that
this is
Zooey
why
paid.
we're married creatively and also common law in Washington.
It's not illegal if you don't cross state lines.
Do you know where she got the grader?
Where?
She got it because she went on an episode of Pawn Stars.
Oh.
Because why we're married is
Sick.
because I saw the thought bubble with the word Pawn Stars pop up over your head.
Wow.
Amanda saw an image of Chum Lee over my head. Yeah.
Isn't he also in prison now?
Yeah.
I have terrible news. Washington State does not recognize common law marriage.
R.I.P.
If so, Brandon, the Crows, and Lauren would all be married.
That's true.
I would like to suggest that Zooey bought some like gray market serial killer paraphernalia. Like there is a aftermarket for stuff owned or touched or whatever by serial killers, that she has bought something from eBay and claimed, like it's just like a generic like vintage thing from the 70s, but she claims it is an artifact of the killer.
Course.
For sure.
Is it like a sweater that she always wears on recording days or something? You know?
Yeah, this needs to be
Yeah.
something
pretty fucked
that
up.
I think the step forward is like all of this stuff that we've talked about is on the show in some way, has been on the show in some way. There is a Zooey is the child of the Golden Hour Bandit
Nice.
or something.
I mean, it can be a bandit. It has to be a serial killer. But
I think it's just the Golden Hour killer.
Yeah.
I think
that's good.
they invested all of their energy into Golden Hour.
I always really like when they're like the very specific type of killing too, like slasher or strangler or stuff like that.
The Golden Hour Strangler is pretty good.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Golden Hour Strangler. That's why BTK always freaked me out. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
do you all know that? Why is that guy's name?
I like that this killer, like, they're known because they had an eye for aesthetics. And they were like, I have to murder at the prettiest time of day.
Maybe they like photographed the killings after the fact and they were always taking
Ooh, like a
Oh,
Polaroid or a
sure.
disposable
Hour.
camera.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely that must be the thing that she bought,
She
right?
definitely bought like a bunch of
Oh.
old Polaroids and is like, yep, there's undeveloped film in here. Can't open it or else it'll be exposed to the sun and ruined forever.
100%. Yeah,
Love
incredible
that.
lie for why you never need to have it proofed, which is why she had to grade the other stuff so she could have proof from things she could control. 100%.
Finally, I would like to posit that Zooey has gotten a I don't want to say memorial, but like a tattoo representing her relationship and her mom's relationship to this killer.
Is it so big?
Oh, it's like a whole back
Or
piece.
like you can see it, and you can see it at all times. Like it's high enough that if she was wearing a scoop neck shirt,
Oh yeah, it's
or
like
a-
on the
or a-
clavicle.
yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely goes up to the clavicle, so you can see it.
yeah,
at all
no, I
times.
think it's like exactly like a collar, like low neck, high clavicle tattoo about like the chain, like a broken chain of like she's broken free from this legacy.
Oh, that's
But it's a lie.
good.
It's terrible.
That's good.
Or she's bright, yeah, but it's all, and the colors are like sunset colors.
Is it handprints on her neck?
I was thinking it. I don't want that. I
No,
don't
that's
want to
bad.
introduce
That's
that.
Okay.
I don't want
Amanda,
this person
it's
to
a great
exist.
thought. It's bad.
I don't want that.
I was thinking that this person co-hosted and co-founded True Crime Hose with Snow or whatever.
Oh yes,
Dumb hoes doing coke.
no, dumb hoes getting snowed. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
I didn't say that. I didn't
Yes,
say
you
that.
did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm not quick
Misha,
enough to know
edit
it's
the beginning
snow.
of this
You said
episode.
snow. Amanda, you said
You
snow.
did. You did.
Well, then that was done without my conscious knowledge.
Incredible.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's Amanda. I'm not even going to pretend that my anecdote for today isn't vote. People, it's time to vote for your favorite one-shot derby at jointhepartypod.com/vote. That's right. You should and can go to jointhepartypod.com/vote to cast your vote for the episode that we are going to make. We're going to take one of these character creation sections of these one-shots and then play a full dang episode of the entire one-shot, a full-length one-shot just for our patrons. And if you want to have a say as to which one we play, you can vote at jointhepartypod.com/vote. And that's not the only way that you can have your say in the one-shot derby. Next week, we're going to have an after party about these fantastic 4 one-shots. So we need your questions. At us on social, we're Join the Party Pod. Drop them in Discord if you're a patron, or you can always email jointhepartypod@gmail.com. Drop your questions. We are recording the after party in 2 days' time as of when this episode comes out. So we need those questions, folks. Send them in and cast your votes. Thank you and welcome to our newest supporters on Patreon, who, by the way, are getting exclusive access to the full text of the True Crime Podcast game. Patrons, go ahead, check your email. You will see it right now. Thanks to those who very, very smartly became patrons over the last week because they want to hear whatever the full one-shot ends up being. Thank you to Rev PM, Oliver Nord, Key Nguyen, Johnny, Etsy Betsy, Christopher C., Gloom Dweller, and Richie. If you too are loving the Derby, and if you want to hear whichever episode wins, you gotta sign up now at patreon.com/jointhepartypod. Final link I'm going to read to you today, folks. Oh my God, there's so much going on. You should come to our Portland live show. If you are able to come to Portland, Oregon on March 23rd, 2025, we need to see you there. It is a joint live show with Spirits. You don't have to know anything about either podcast to actually enjoy it. We promise it's going to be a ton of fun. So tell your friends in the Pacific Northwest, tell your family, tell your coworker that you want an excuse to talk to them because you think they're cool. Just be like, hey, by the way, you're in Portland. You should go to this. It's going to be super fun. Get your tickets now at jointhepartypod.com/live. Lots happening at Multitude these days, and if you are looking for another podcast to help fill your time and some cool folks to hang out with, why don't you check out Wow If True? This is your one-stop internet culture shop, explaining how what's happening online shapes the real world. The internet experts and real-life besties that host it are tech culture journalist Amanda Silberling and science fiction author/attorney Isabel J. Kim Esquire. Trust me, you are going to want to hear their takes about Bigelosticulus, Silicon Valley, YouTubers locking people in grocery stores, and all of the stuff online that is shaping our real world. Check out Wow If True. The vibes are excellent. New episodes every other Wednesday.
So we now need to create 4 other NPCs to populate the story that we're going to tell of us trying not to get killed by Zooey protecting her secret.
So scary.
Okay? I have some suggestions here. We can all make which one. If you feel compelled and you want to voice, and if you want to control and voice this NPC, do it. Here are my suggestions that I've written for the NPC prompts for the lie. There's the liar's parent from a state far from here looking for them. That one might work. Their GFBF spouse who is so hot and you never hear them speak.
Great.
That one was more for the bloodline one, where they're dating like some Spanish prince who can't speak, who just doesn't speak. Someone who confirms the lie who you're convinced is an actor or was paid.
I'm really drawn to the boyfriend who is so hot. And I really like this idea that he's just like this Australian guy. And you've heard him speak one word and it's nar.
No.
Great.
Yeah, that's their defining quality for sure. I love that. Julia, do you want control of the Australian boyfriend?
Sure.
Okay.
His name's Diego.
Yeah, his name is definitely Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love the idea of the liar's parent from a state far from here looking for them, because it's obviously her mom who is not a victim of the golden hour strangler.
That's what. Yeah, that one kind of fits really perfectly.
Yeah.
What's something that we can think about the mother that makes her stand out?
Is she like a highly accomplished federal court judge? And Zooey is like lying about her last name because her mom is like very highly accomplished.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like the name was redacted to protect the victims.
Right.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Amanda, do you want to be the federal court judge?
Oh, definitely.
The federal court judge or the mom?
The mom who is a federal court judge.
Okay.
Because Brandon, judges can be women. I'm so kidding. You
wow,
did not mean that.
Brandon
you did
doesn't
not
think
mean that.
women can. Wow.
You did not mean that.
Women shouldn't exist and also aren't allowed to wear robes.
I just want to also just kind of step back just for our like tabletop safety and acknowledge that embodying Sunchoke has given me a dangerous surge of adrenaline. And so if I am over the top at any point, pet me like a horse and say shh, 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 and then I'll know. As
a male feminist, I just think that women should have their curves out and shouldn't wear robes.
I think they should wear tighter fitting robes, in fact.
I think they should all wear wigs.
Hey, can you wear bodycon robes, Judge?
Just make it a bodysuit.
Here's an interesting one. Can I be the producer of Pawn Stars?
Yeah, you can.
Or someone who
Yes.
works on Pawn Stars?
You mean Chumley?
No, I don't want to be Chumley. I don't want to be one of the four men who are on Pawn Stars. I don't know how to say I can only do it for $500 that many times. Can I be like someone who works on Pawn Stars who is trying to get Zooey back and she's ditching my calls?
You should be a
Yeah.
casting agent.
Yeah.
Or get casting, yeah, someone who would casting agent, someone who works on the reality show.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you guys know when you Google Chumley, it autofills to American businessman?
I guess. So yeah, I'm Billy, who just kind of works at A&E and is trying to find Zooey.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So we need one more.
There is one still here, Brandon, if you're interested. There is someone who confirms the lie who you're convinced is an actor or is paid.
Zooey could have, maybe Zooey met or recruited you as like a victim of a more contemporaneous crime and is trying to like mentor you. Like maybe she's a fake support group network and you're like a mentor or mentee. Eric gasped.
I have an idea, connecting some stuff that we talked about before. Because Big Cat won't let Zooey on the mic, Zooey is being courted by one of these people that Amanda just suggested to start their own very dumb true crime podcast as victims or the family members of victims of serial killers.
I love that. So am I like the host / creator of another true crime podcast that's trying to poach?
Either you want to
her?
poach her or you want to start, or you're like an influencer trying to start this.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Sick. Okay.
And do you think this rival would be true crime podcaster is like totally snowed by Zooey or she's like in on the scam?
Cocaine? What does snowed be?
Convinced?
Okay.
Is she
Is
convinced
she
by
trying to
Zooey's lie?
Wait, is it Sunchoke McGarry? Is Brandon
Wait,
gonna
what
play
if it was
Sunchoke
Sunchoke McGarry?
I can't do that voice.
We can't.
Brandon,
we
you
can't.
can take control of the mother judge, and Amanda can be Sunchoke McGarry.
I can do that.
We can do that.
All right, very well. Sunshine.
Yay!
Let's
McGarry.
do it. Yes. Okay.
Fuck
So
yeah.
Brandon, you're gonna be Zooey's mom, who's a federal court judge, and you are not sure if women should wear robes or not.
No, I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay. And Amanda, you can be Sunchoke McGarry, who's trying to get Zooey and Bex. I'll
Yeah,
include
yeah.
Bex. Sorry, I said Zooey, but I think Bex and Zooey to make a new show with them.
Got it.
Interesting.
Sorry, I mixed up the names. I think that they're trying to get Bex as well.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
great.
I love that.
Fine.
All right. So
Sunchoke, because choke, strangle. Oh, that's good.
Wow, it's a root vegetable. It's related to jicama.
Is it? That's cool.
Yeah,
Is that different from a Jerusalem artichoke, or is that the same thing?
they're the same.
Oh, they're the same.
What does it taste like?
Like a pretty mild turnip or like a kind of mildly spicy potato.
Oh, I like a mildly spicy potato. That's how I describe my family.
We sell merch with that. It's copyrighted. You can't say it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thinks I'll be hearing from my lawyers.
We could just cut it out of the episode if you want.
Nope, I'm broadcasting at all times for safety,
Wild choice. Even when you're pooping?
especially when I'm
Especially when
pooping.
I'm pooping. Yeah, there it is.
I knew you were going to say that.
Actually, men are not allowed to talk on my podcast because at some point misandry does turn around and just become sexism. So actually, I'm going to need to plug my latest advertiser, Hormones for Cis People. When you hate trans people and also want to like make your hair fuller and be like have more testosterone somehow, but you think that only you and certainly not anybody else of different or varied gender expressions should have access to it, it's Hormones for Straight People. Now, a break.
hormones for straight people. Put the cis back in prescription.
Pretty good.
Whoa.
Shit, that's good.
Does my character have a name? My NPC have a name? I don't think we,
We
said
did
it,
not
did we?
give Zooey a last name or her mom a name, but I think the honorable like Maria Menounos or whatever would be very good.
Honorable Maria Menounos. That's what it is.
Arrive early for the movies for Maria Menounos, and also your trial.
It's Maria Menounos, no relation.
Yep. Zoe Menounos. Sorry,
Zoe
Menounos is very funny.
No, but she definitely changes it to like Zoe Smith or something.
Or
Yeah,
like
of course.
Menendez or something, and she's like claiming heritage she doesn't have.
She's claiming the Menendez
Yeah.
brothers.
Well,
Great.
I love it. Folks, let's create the show that we've made here.
yay!
I think we've danced around it quite a lot, but I think that we can lock all this together. The only mandatory elements we have to do is 1, choose a title for the show, and 2, create a snappy, punny, or groan-worthy tagline. There's some other stuff that I've added, which is extra and only enjoyable for media sickos like us. So we could also add a theme song or some art, and I also created the template that I use to create show descriptions for podcasts. Which we
Excellent.
don't have to do. I think that we can indulge ourselves and pick 1 from the theme song list and 2 from the art list. But we definitely got to like put together the show a little bit. So right now we know that it's just kind of Big Cat as solo host doing this true crime podcast.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I forgot that this was part of the creation, and I still really like the idea of there's like cat claws going through something
Mhm.
in order to be like blah 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 with Big Cat. I think there's definitely a with Big Cat aspect to the title,
Killing time with Big Cat.
or something about like sinking your claws into
Yeah.
something. That could be the tagline, but
What did you say, Amanda?
I said killing time with Big Cat.
That's
like
pretty
that.
good. That's good.
because like you're killing time with Big Cat, yeah.
I kind of like
I
it
get
because
it
it's
now.
just
Okay.
like so I have some examples here of things we could do. There's alcohol and word that implies death. As you know, like whiskey and widows could be
Right,
one.
yeah.
Word that means murder into a description of the relationships of the host, like stabbing sisters. But the main one I'm going for is just a general pun on the fact that you have a podcast and it's about murder.
Yeah.
And I think like, so my example was serialized killers. It's a serialized story about killers. Killing Time is up there with that first one, and then with Big Cat, and there's just a lot of cat imagery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Killing Time with Big Cat.
I would probably style it. I would ask that we style it KLLIN apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
Oh,
I
yes.
assumed that was going to be
Killing
the case.
Time with Big
Yeah.
Cat. Do you have a really who wants to come up with the dumbest tagline you can think of?
For when your 9 lives run out.
Ooh, Amanda,
That's
great.
good. Yeah, because not everyone has 9 lives or something like that.
Ooh,
Or-
also good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's someone 9 lives.
The
Yeah, yeah.
other way I think we could go is like alliteration, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like bros, brewskis, and blood, or just like something silly.
Bros, Brewskis, and Blood is a good title.
I mean,
for
that
us,
was
yeah.
Charlie's recommendation for sure.
Yeah.
That's the name of the show. It's like why are there bros? It's like you and the audience.
You and the bros.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like because not everyone has 9 lives. That's
I think
kind of fun.
it's the more stay creepy, stay cool. If we're referring to spirits, it's like a thing you can say at the end of the show. Is the one that Amanda said?
I like that. Like every victim, therefore, is like has had 8 close calls with death.
Well, like, what if it's like, remember, only cats have 9 lives?
That's
or
what it
Only
is.
cats have 9 lives.
Okay, all right, you're right.
Remember,
you're right.
only cats have 9
Oh,
lives. We got there,
you're
Brandon.
so
Good
right.
job.
You're so right.
Thanks,
Brandon, we don't
thanks,
have
thanks.
Jokins in this game, but here's a bloody hands.
Yay! My favorite.
It's in your freezer. I shipped it.
Yay!
I also love this so much because they just like decided, okay, cat imagery. Like we're like we're not
Well, his name's
barely
Big
talking
Cat.
about the fact that it's a true crime podcast anymore. Killing Time with Big Cat. Remember, only cats have 9 lives. I like it. Brandon, I made this section for you because you're a media
Thank you.
sicko. Brandon, would you like to choose the theme song here? Here are some suggestions of theme songs. It was a free song from online, also used by 2-star Netflix movies.
Shout out spirits.
Shout out spirits. This is a Fruity Loops beat made by the host 5 years ago.
Excellent.
Maybe it was found on Charlie's computer when he was trying to become a DJ. Bad rock song by a friend's band. An unlicensed, very popular song. It's good, but you stole it from a smaller podcast. And true crime parody of a hip hop song.
I think it's got to be like a bad rock song by a Friend's band because it's got to be Charlie's.
I was going to
or-
say it has to be Charlie's, right?
Yeah.
May I also suggest that he just plays it out loud from his phone every week because it's a slightly different remix.
You may. You may suggest that, and it is accepted. And it is also every week. Double J says, "Get closer to the fucking mic."
We can put it in post.
I have an aux cord.
Is it funnier that they stopped trying and now Double J just kind of, instead to get Charlie less involved, just copies and pastes like the bad version? Like never gets the full file to play.
I think both. I think he lets Charlie do it every week and then just replaces it with the first version.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's good.
Jeez.
There's like social media videos that Zooey produces of Charlie, like just his disembodied hand, like, you know, holding the phone up to the microphone, but the beats don't match at all. Like you can see the visualizer on the phone and it does not match the audio.
Just the Dropbox file.
Mm-hmm.
We can do the art as well. Amanda, Julia, would you like to do the art with me?
Definitely. I think
Yes.
Julia's claw marks are definitely the main feature.
Yes, so I can definitely envision claw marks, the rather minimalist, but I would really love to include two of these elements if we can.
Yes.
There's spilled wine glass, headphones or microphone imagery, blood splatter, cartoon faces of the hosts, too dark to read the title, only red and black, cutout letters from a magazine, witchy imagery but you're Catholic, headphones or microphone imagery, it's here again, unreadable font, the name or names of the hosts are bigger than the title, and the logo of the network is distractingly large.
Can I suggest, my first thought was when you said cartoon face of the host, I pictured like those medieval paintings of cats where they just have human faces.
That's very good.
And it's just Big Cat's face on like the mountain lion's body or whatever the hell.
Yes.
And that's what's scratching the logo up.
I think it must be in black, white, and red only because a lot of
Gotcha.
those medieval, illustrations, illuminations and stuff like illuminated manuscripts are primarily in red. And then secondly, I think Big Cat's got to be much bigger than Kitten Time.
Yes.
Oh, you want you want three?
Yeah.
We want 3.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, because it's Big Cat, not Small Cat. Come on.
Mhm.
That's really funny.
Now I'm also trying to be like, was Big Cat like at some point an old school radio host in the area? Or like maybe ran his college radio station and so he really thinks he has big name appeal when he doesn't?
They definitely all went to SUNY Fredonia together, and Big Cat was like the head of the rock station at college radio.
Sure.
And that's how they all met, and now they live in like Ithaca.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was trying to think of why Big Cat has such a big head about this. They all definitely went to the same college together, and I think Big Cat worked in New York at some publication like Rolling Stone, and now did this pivot to true crime.
I have to tell you guys, I think you're overthinking it. Big Cat has a big head because he has a true crime podcast. What are you
Well,
No, I
talking
know,
about?
but it was like, why did he start doing, like, it isn't accepted that the show is popular, but we're trying to backfill how we got
How'd we
there.
get here?
It's the true crime.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, Brandon,
of
you're
course.
right. That's written in the text.
I mean, this
That's
show
your-
gets a lot of downloads. Eric, I'm almost picturing like a Through a Lens Darkly version of the Dingers guys. Eric watches this YouTube channel of like a bunch of lads that went to SUNY Purchase together, or New Paltz, one of the two, and they like have a YouTube channel where they have like a highly modified version of a Super Mario baseball game, and they like comment over it as if it's real baseball, and it's extremely good.
It's
That's really
good.
fun.
Yeah,
This is good. No, this is great. I really like all of this.
Hey, Eric,
yeah,
it's a really good game.
Fuck yeah.
thank you. Let's go to the final portion of the character creation. Fame changes you. Before you start, remember that fame makes everything a little weirder. We have to roll or pick a fame complication. You're so famous, but, and I have about 10 modifiers here that's going to change our relationship to everything going on.
Let's hear him.
I think we have to hear them all.
Sure. Okay. Number 1, you're ducking a reporter who's onto your business practices. Number 2, you have no privacy. This one's related to getting recognized all the time. Number 3, you're broke. Number 4, you attract bad vibes. Number 5, you all cheated on your significant others, but only one has been found out.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Number 6, you're so famous, but you're avoiding the class action lawsuit about your merch.
Yeah.
That was Amanda's idea. That was a good one.
That was
That's a good one.
You're so famous, but number 7, you know the audience likes one of you way more than the others. Number 8, you just moved to big city and you hate it. Number 9, you care about something else more about the podcast. Each of us are going to describe an activity we really care about. It's either a cashing in on fame thing, a secondary content thing, or a newly a rich person thing.
It's lizards for Charlie.
Lizards.
That's haunting because now it feels like Charlie gets paid. And number 10, you're so famous, but you all have day jobs. We are going to pick our day jobs, and we have to work it into everything that we do.
Cool.
So yeah, do any of these jump out at you, or do you want to roll? Later on, I will say that later on in this game, we will add a fame complication every time someone dies. So we can either add another one from this table. There is a secondary table with fame complications that only happen during play, or you can make up of your own. So don't feel super hemmed in by the fact that we're only choosing one now.
I think we should roll, personally.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. I rolled the D10 here. Does someone else want to roll?
I have mine.
Yay.
Julia!
Yeah. 9.
9. You care about something more than the podcast.
There we go.
Each of us needs to describe the thing that we actually care about more. Again, it's a cashing in on fame thing. In my head, it was like going on Deal or No Deal Island.
Okay. Say more about that.
Amanda, would you like to talk about Deal or No Deal Island?
Eric, are you saying that? Because in the privacy of my own head this morning, I thought, should I apply to Deal or No Deal Island Season 3? And would that be upsetting, or would that ultimately help my job?
I
No,
think that would help the business.
I considered going on Big Brother. It's fine.
Yeah.
Was that also Amanda's recommendation for this week of Spirits?
Oh, it sure was,
at the time
Julia.
of this recording?
Yes. It's an excellent reality TV show where they play Deal or No Deal on an island, and Joe Manganiello is there, and they do some challenges.
Cool. Did they finally announce who the lady banker is?
They have not.
Oh,
We don't
Amanda,
know.
I'm dying
Julia,
here.
they're only going to tell us at the end of the season. And by us, I mean Amanda's going to tell me what it is.
Amanda, you have to tell us when it happens.
I've gotten 4 different households who are regulars at our dive bar to watch Dondi. Every time I go, someone else
Amanda
says...
also calls it Dondi.
It's not just me. It's also some podcasters who aren't me. But I go to the bar and they go, Amanda, I'm watching Dondi. And I go, hooray!
I love
Now,
that
is
for
the
you.
island a part of the game? Like, do they have to survive or something?
The
or is it just...
conceit is that it is the banker's private island. So on Deal or No Deal, it's like a shadowy banker figure that's like giving you money or not.
Yeah.
And so they're on the banker's private island winning cases of money that they add to a final prize pot that the final contestant left standing gets to battle the banker for. However, Brendan, battling the banker is literally a game of luck. You choose a case, you may or may not have something in it that's better than what the banker's offering you, and it is literally luck, which makes it thrilling to watch.
So what I'm hearing is that some young upstart producer
Yes.
was like, you guys want to go to private island for a few weeks?
That's why I want to apply to Deal or No Deal Island, because you're glamping. It's not Survivor style. Like you're in a glamping tent.
Amanda, do it.
I'm bitch, I might.
How long are you there for? We could work around
I think it's like
Spirits
2
and join
weeks.
the party.
Like I think we can make it happen.
we could do that.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Anyway,
So go back to the game,
so you
Eric,
can
or-
do that, cashing in on your fame. There is a secondary content thing. So you're doing a different YouTube channel, you're trying to get into acting, you're trying to get into music, you're doing a whole other podcast, any of that stuff. Or you get really into newly a rich person thing. I know we're all very prepared to talk about this stuff, but I was thinking like hobbies in this way.
Like spelunking.
Spelunking, skiing and jumping out of a helicopter, classic polo sort of thing. It's getting into stock car racing.
Equestrian.
Yeah, any of that stuff.
Do each of us get to choose, or is it one for like the group?
No, all of us each have our own thing. We all don't care
Great.
about the podcast anymore because we're doing this other thing.
Great.
I think Bex wants to start what she considers a more highbrow podcast. Because as like the researcher, she's like, yeah, like this like true crime stuff is fine, but like I want to do something that has like real like significant weight behind it, something with like real journalistic integrity. And this girl has never gone to journalism school in her life.
Oh yeah, do it with Zooey and the
Well, that's the problem is she doesn't want to do it with Sunchoke McGarry.
Okay.
Because that girl does a podcast where she gets high on cocaine, and she said, "No, thank you. I want to do something that's going to win me a Pulitzer."
yeah.
You don't even have to listen to that podcast at 1.5 speed because it's already at 1.5 speed.
Yeah,
Sure
baby.
is. This is me talking at my most stimulated.
Spotify works this into like their quarterly thing. It's like there are shows that recommend listeners listen at 0.75 speed. We have that capability.
That's why it's there. Well, I think for me, it's easy. Charlie Crockins is way more into exotic, nay, illegal reptiles. So he went from just liking lizards and reptiles and working at the aquarium one day a week to pay for his supplies to importing illegal lizards from like South America.
Someone is going to get eaten by the Komodo dragon that he ordered.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Oh, no. Double J he's obviously starting his rap career.
Obviously.
So he's do it as a mixtape.
Nice.
A scary, scary man has a mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
Big Cat is investing all of his money into rare book collecting from dictators.
Very
Oh.
good.
That's a
I like
Very
that.
good one, Eric.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think that there's also because that's pretty straightforward, and I think he can corner the market on using his research to figure out who the ghostwriters are, and then also collecting the books of the ghostwriters when they were allowed to use their names.
Very good.
A lot of money is going to that. Cool. All right, so yeah, let's hold on to that and make sure that we bring that back up in play. If you vote for True Crime Podcast Game to be the game that we end up playing on Patreon for the One Shot Derby, we did it, folks. This is the character creation.
Woo!
All right, let's all go around and review our characters. Let's do it in the draft order. So, Julia, you go first.
I'm playing Bex Beckett, who is the researcher. She is known on the pod as the female one by the audience because she once had an opinion about the hotness of a serial killer.
Hooray!
And the valid criticism on Reddit is half the fandom wants her to be like on mic on the podcast and the other half does not because misogyny.
Yep.
Oh, and the hobby that she cares about is like a very serious journalism podcast that is in development. Maybe she's pitching it out to other networks and stuff like that. And then the NPC that I'm playing is Diego, who is the hot Australian boyfriend who only says "nar."
My character's name is Double J Talkins. My role is the producer. I am known on the podcast as the scary one by the audience because I come on mic frequently to describe things that are way too grisly. A valid criticism about me on Reddit is that I hate Charlie.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah, which is just true. My secondary hobby is that I am starting my rap career. So I tried to shoehorn my mixtape promotion in my SoundCloud promotion and as much as I can when I get on the microphone.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
Oh, Tupac, I guess. I don't know,
cool.
man.
Cool.
The first thing that came to mind was Kanye West, and I was like, not gonna do that.
Any
you
answer
could.
you could have said, Brandon, was funny. Any answer, anything you would have said was funny.
After that long of a pause, you could have said anyone.
That was so good at being in character. That was great.
What is that white guy, that white Jewish guy that did all the like super viral raps?
Little Dicky.
Lil Dicky.
Yeah, Lil Dicky.
No, it's 10 second pause and then Tupac.
And then the NPC that I'm playing is Zooey's mom, who is not actually a victim of any kind of any serial killer, who is also a federal court judge, very serious, and whose name is the Honorable Maria Menounos, no relation.
So funny. All right, I am playing Big Cat, who is our host of the show Killin' Time with Big Cat.
Only cats have 9 lives.
Remember, only cats have 9 lives.
Oh, remember only cats have 9 lives. Of course, everyone knows that. I am known on the pod as the exacting one by the audience because I read extra books if I think Bex did a bad job.
Aww.
Valid criticism on Reddit about me. I think I'm the best part of the show, and no one really knows why. Big Cat's rich person hobby is collecting rare books from dictators and then the books written by the ghostwriters of the dictators.
Oh boy.
The NPC I'm playing is Billy, who is a casting agent at A&E who wants Zooey to come back to Pawn Stars to talk about the letters that she had from her serial killer father.
The golden hour strangler.
That she faked, that she got graded on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And I am playing Charlie Crockins, who is the scumbag off-mic friend. He's known as the chaotic one because one time off-mic, they were like, wait, what, Charlie? Charlie bought a boat, and it turned into a whole saga about having been used for an offshore mafia body dump murder. He's also definitely underpaying his income tax, which Reddit has caught onto. The side hobby that he is far more into than his contributions to the podcast, which is recorded in his detached garage full of lizards, is rare reptile and now illegal reptile importing.
Hell yeah.
And the NPC I am playing is... Hi, I'm Sunchoke McGarry.
Oh, hey, Sunchoke.
Hi.
Amanda had to get into character by screaming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I ripped Amanda out of the chair because she's not camera ready to be on live. This has been the one-shot derby. I'm really glad that you all came, but now you have to leave because this is my house. And boundaries means I can be rude to you whenever I want.
Fair enough,
That's
girlfriend.
fair.
Please
Fair
go
enough.
to jointhepartypod.com/vote to vote in this poll is what I'm being told you should do. Next week, there will be an after party. It starts at 5 a.m. Eastern when the episode comes out. That's really chic, I'm not going to lie. And then after that is something called Camp-Paign 4. That's a brand of Coke I really like, so I hope I'm invited to that campaign.
I am enthralled by Sunchoke. I'm
Aren't we
hanging
all?
on every word she says.
The slower you talk, honey, the more they pay attention. Thank you for listening to the One Shot Derby. And as we say at the end, the McGarrys throughout time who have been radio hosts and then war correspondents. And then one of them wrote for Playboy for a while and won some actually very good journalism awards. Stay high, bitches.
Bye.
Take to the slopes.
I can understand more now, just like how on so many popular comedy shows, you just kind of just like sit back and watch Will Ferrell cook.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see what he does.
Yeah, let's see what
I'm
happens.
Jimmy Falloning over here trying not to laugh while Amanda's doing this. Jeez.
Thanks.
We simply must go. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.